Hi there, Sally here again. Stories for Sally. Hope you've seen me before. Now, normally I read from a book which I've been reading, and then I give you my little synopsis at the end of it. But this time, I am very, very fortunate to actually have the author of one of my favourite books here with me, who will give me her little anecdotes afterwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a passage, and then I'm going to pass it over to Tanishka, author of The Grail, and it's a book that has had a huge impact on me. The Grail is the lies, the truth, the answer, and it gives us a method of living our lives in this very, very unsettled time. I hope it'll resonate with all of you. Let's get started.
Just before you do, I'm having a hot flush and I'm going to take off my jacket. It was when you mentioned the title of the book and it was like,
whoosh.
I'm wondering, Sally, hi everybody, I'm Tanishka. Would you consider showing them the cover?
Yes, with
and
pleasure.
I'll take my jacket off while you do that. Oopsie-daisy. Do you want me to grab that post-it
No, that's
note
okay.
that just flew out?
Right, so this is with a beautiful picture of a grail and a crown above it, because this is what the Grail is all about. It's about an energetic traversing of our lives, and hopefully we come out as sovereign powers of our own destiny. So, as I said, my very dear friend Tanishka, author of this beautiful book, and I'm going to start with The Return of the Cupbearer. We are now entering the Aquarian Age, a 2,000-year astrological age symbolized in myth by the cupbearer. This is a sign it's time for the Grail, the sacred vessel to re-emerge. It's time for us to transcend the quest for power and seek to fill our cup with love by becoming receptive to spirit that speaks to us through the heart. Those who seek the Grail are motivated by their hearts to seek truth, knowing intuitively the truth will set them free from enslavement. By freeing their minds so the heart can be heard. This is why those who sought the Grail sought truth as a path to true love. The seeker of the Grail is portrayed in the tarot as the Knight of Cups. This card shows a Grail Knight, a man on white horse who seeks truth, love and wisdom. He holds a goblet which is empty, indicating his mind is receptive to new ideas. For one must be earnest and humble in their search for truth. I'm going to pass you over to Tanishka now, who will give you, I hope, some of her insights into why she wrote the book and why she started with this one in particular.
Wow, okay, thank you. And it's so interesting when you hear someone else speak about your book and, you know, their interpretation of it, so thank you. I feel to speak to that opening line in the passage that you just read about it being the time of the cupbearer, because of course we're moving into the Aquarian Age. So, you know, even though Aquarius is an air sign, it's the one that's holding, it's a water bearer. And, you know, that was Ganymede in the ancient mythos. And he was kind of reduced to just being, you know, a boy that did the bidding of the Olympiad gods.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
You know, when we think about ancient Greece, it was a pedophilic culture where the way boys got a tertiary education was essentially an older man saying, I'm going to have you, and the family condoned it, you know. So now we've got this opportunity to reinstate the true cupbearer, which is the sacred feminine. And that's, you know, if you look at, I've been living in Morocco the last 3 years over the darker months, and if you look at Moroccan sacred spaces, you know, what is central is a water feature in a garden, and that's the Grail.
Yes, yeah.
And it's because water is life. I remember the protests at Standing Rock. It's like in America with, you know, the risk to the sacred waters. It's like without water, there is no life. And the sacred feminine, you know, in the ancient tradition of the Grail, the mystic tradition that was the precursor to Christianity, they acknowledge that all of, you know, if we think about the water systems, they carry an intelligence. Now we know with Veda Austin's work, and before her,
I was hoping you'd mention her.
Yeah, Dr. Emoto's work as well, you know, and that water, it's crystalline, and we are crystalline. Our structure, you know, yes, we're carbon, but if we do the work of integrating our unconscious aspects, we become more and more crystalline, so we can hold light, refract light, and, you know, this age that we're moving into, this 2,000-year astrological age, is sometimes referred to as the age of light. You know, we are becoming crystalline. So water is absolutely key. And that, if we think about water, it's receptive as an element, it's mutable. So when you charge it up with intentions and things, it takes on that structure. And all of the empires, they desecrated the sacred wells. I mean, in England, you know, there's stories of the Romans slaughtering cattle and throwing them into the holy wells to deliberately, you know, toxify, and I dare say...
what was sacred water to the ancient Britons.
And in doing that, break the spirit of the people, you know, because it, you know, it was the Holy of Holies, you know, all of the, what we now call wishing wells, you know, you would go there for divination, and not, you know, what we are often reduced to thinking, you know, it's cheap fortune telling. No, it's going with an earnest heart and seeking guidance from the benevolent multiverse, you know, that speaks through a clear vessel, a Grail priestess. So, yeah, us restoring the Grail is how we restore the balance, because the feminine has been so misrepresented, so repressed, and we need to listen. We need to listen to the elements, listen to the land, listen to the elders who, you know, as we age, we become more feminine, more soul dominant. So we develop more of the feminine traits, and hence we're living in a culture that's youth worshipping, because it's not honouring of the feminine, it's not honouring of the soul, the anima mundi, the world soul. It's every man for himself. So existence at the moment is on the brink of not prevailing if we don't humble our egos and listen to the mystic wisdom of the sacred feminine, which is the living Grail, you know, a woman who's initiated into the mysteries. Her womb, her Grail cup within her body takes on different alchemical properties. You know, they had different names for the menses of women depending on how many initiations she'd been through, and it was revered. So we've come such a long way, we've veered so far from the truth, and that has then been used against us. So Yeah, very long answer, I think, but it's late in the day, and
But,
bless you for asking.
but I also think that by learning to re-honour the feminine, I think many of us, while we're going through that process, realise and also in our heart of hearts accept that somehow we have to take our male counterparts with us.
Oh, well, we're all feminine and masculine.
Yes, yeah.
So when I speak about the feminine, I'm not meaning just listening to the women, although that's a good place to start. But just being biologically female doesn't make you feminine. There's a lot of women out there that are masculine dominant.
Yes, yeah.
You know, in fact, there's so much gender confusion now, more than ever before, with our lost rites of passage. But yeah, I think we need to listen to the women who have consciously journeyed the cycles. And by that, I mean, you know.
And these are the wisdom keepers.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. And I hope you'll join me for the next one. In fact, there's going to be quite a few because I'm going to be reading quite a few passages from this book. And I want to pique your interest by keeping you waiting for the next one. Okay, see you soon. Thank you. Bye.